Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. It's Q&A Tuesday. I did get a lot of questions this past week for today's episode, so I'm just going to run down through a few of them. I did get a question about how did I get to patella alta in the book. I guess that was one of the ones that was a little bit hard. That one was a little hard for me to find. I'll be honest with you, because I even struggled with it too. So what I did was I went congenital, and then it said C condition, so I saw a condition, and then it says C disease, so I went to disease, and then it's just not there. So because I tried patella and I tried alta, and neither one of them was there. So then I thought again, and I thought, well, what about deformity? And that's how I was able to find it. So I went to deformity and I went to knee. So and I didn't use the patella one because it wasn't giving me the right code according to the description in the coder dust reference. So this is why I went with knee. So that was how I got that one. My next question is, should I get a degree or a certification? Okay, I've gotten this question quite a few times. And the thing about that one is, okay, here's the thing. You really do need to decide first if you actually want to get into medical coding. It's one thing to know what it is and what it's about. It's another to actually go through the course and decide, that you like it or you don't like it. I was very fortunate coming into medical coding, because I always say medical coding found me. I didn't go out and seek it, because honestly I didn't even know what it was when I first started. I had no idea. I didn't know this was even a job field. Okay. I was unemployed and I had gone to the unemployment office, and when you're on unemployment, you have to go through their programs, like about how to write a resume and how to present yourself at a job interview and that kind of thing. Well, one of the classes that they had me attend was for job retraining. And they said, if you are willing to go to school, we can pay for you to get retrained. So I didn't have to pay for my schooling. I went through a program, and it was just part of my unemployment package. So that was how I got into it. So if you are looking to get into it and you want to find out more, find out if you're eligible for grants, or find out if your unemployment office offers this. It never hurts to check it out, especially if you're trying to come up with a good field to get into. There's no harm in it. Just doing your research and finding out what you're eligible for. Because what I hear about a lot, and this breaks my heart, is when I hear about people get these huge student loans, like these $10,000 student loans, and then they have to owe the school, and then they end up not liking medical coding, or if that's what they chose at the time. Some people, just find out later that they don't like it, or they get frustrated because they go through the program and then they're not able to get a job. So I know that, and I got the comment too about that I made it look easy to get in. Actually, it was not easy for me. And I've talked about this quite a few times, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if you're new to my channel, I struggled. I struggled to get a job. It was not easy in the beginning, and I went through that. I took a lot of hits in the beginning, which was like really hard, because I worked multiple jobs, multiple minimum wage jobs, and it was like so hard, especially when I had gone through the school and I was trying to find a job, because that was one of the stipulations of going to school through this program, was you have to find a job in the field that you were trained. Okay. And so that was one of the stipulations, and I was really trying to get a job, and no one was taking a chance on me. And they said, you're really smart and you're passing the test, but we just can't hire you because you don't have any experience. And medical coding is one of those really weird professions that you have to have experience before you can get in, which is like kind of hard if you're trying to get experience and no one will hire you. So it does take a lot. I'm telling you guys now, if you are watching this and you're wondering if you should get into medical coding, I'm telling you now, you have to be in it to win it, basically, because it is, medical coding will put up a fight. It will not want you in the beginning. It will fight you every step of the way. So if you are going to one of these trade schools and you're paying out of pocket, make sure that they can help you. Ask them if they can help you. Do they offer any internships anywhere so that you can get some experience before you get out into the real world and try to get a job with no experience? You just have to, do things like that. It also makes you think and go outside of your comfort zone, because I literally had to move when I had gotten my first assignment, because I went through a temp agency and it would only lasted for 3 months. And so when I got my next assignment, I literally had to pick up and move from my home, and I had to move 8 hours away. So, but that was a sacrifice that I was able to do, because I had my mom to help me and support me, and it was just very hard. It was, and I have a very embarrassing video. I always say it's embarrassing because I did cry in this video. And I hate crying. I am a very, I'm an emotional person, but I don't like crying because I feel like it's, but it was just so raw. And even still today, the feeling is still there. I can still remember what it was like, trying to go through and trying to get a job and trying to get myself on my feet and just trying to get going and having every door closed in my face. And it was just so hard. So I'm telling you guys now, if you get frustrated, if you're one of those ones that you're just going to just throw in the towel because you can't get a job, it's understandable. Believe me, I get it. But I'm telling you, if you are looking to get into this, it does take some, what's a word I'm looking for? It does take a lot of effort. It does, to get a job. And sometimes people get in it and sometimes they go through the school and they end up, not able to get a job, and they get upset, understandably so, getting upset about after spending all that money. So this is why I say, if you're on the fence about whether you want to go to college or whether you want to go to a trade school to get a certification, it is really going to depend on you and what it is that you want to do. If you want to start off with the certification, that's great, because the less you can start with putting into it. What I mean is, like, you don't want to put a lot of debt. You don't want to get yourself into debt to try to get into medical coding if you're not really sure if that's what you're going to like to do. Okay, so I would never discourage anybody from getting into medical coding. As I've said in previous videos, it does reward you handsomely once you're able to get in. And believe me, I had to push and push to get in. And I had to, like I said, go move away in order to be able to get more experience, because I didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to leave my mom. My mom was sick at the time, and I just didn't want to have to leave. But I had to, I had to do it, and I did it, and I'm here now, and I, like I said, I love what I do, and I would never discourage anybody. So if you are on the fence, just think about it. Don't try to put yourself in a bunch of debt to get into a field that you don't know if you're going to like it or not, because, and like I said, try to look and see if you're eligible for any grants. If you're, in a, like, you just have to do your research. That's another thing too, is if you're just like asking, like, how do I get in it? Okay, well, do your research, type in medical coding. I have always put in the addresses to the association in the description boxes below so that you can do your research and decide which association you want to be associated with. And both of them offer online courses, self-paced online courses. So if you're wanting to do that, they do have packages. So just be sure to check those out. And like I said, do your research, and that's how you're going to know if it's right for you. If you don't mind doing research, if you don't mind studying, if you don't mind putting in hard work, because this is the reason that, medical coding pays so handsomely, is because it is a lot of hard work. And there are people that do get aggravated with it because they're like, I'm just tired, I'm frustrated. Well, I get it, but you have to really stick with it. This profession really is like for better or for worse. And I talked about it a couple of videos back that, I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary and at my facility. And it was a lot of tears, and it was a lot of joy, and it was a lot of, I don't know if I'm in the right field or not, and now it's like I'm at that point where I love what I do. And I have said this, and I know I keep reiterating it, but if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I'm at that point. I do feel that way. I feel like every day when I come here, the only time I feel like I actually have to do some work is if I have to sit in on a meeting, but not a meeting with my providers, okay? That is never a chore, okay? Because I love meeting with them. And seeing them and interacting with them and working with them every day, and then seeing their growth too, not just my growth, because they teach me so much. I I have shocked some of my providers before, because I say, oh yeah, I was reading this because you wrote this and this and this, and they're like, really, you read that, you remember that? I'm like, yes, I remember that, because I literally do read everything that they write, and I can see when there's changes in their documentation, and I can kind of know if they've been talking to somebody, or if they've been doing research on their own, or if they read my coding tip of the week. I can tell by the way that they're documenting. So after a while, you start to learn that, you'll start to pick that up. But like I said, this is something that you have to be diligent on. You have to really put yourself and commit to it. It is a career. It's not just a job. This is not just like, anything. This is, you have to have a lot of mental work into it, because you have to learn about the body. You have to learn how to use the book. You have to learn how to query legally. You have to learn how to, look at different documentation. You have to learn about the law. You have to learn about ethics and HIPAA, and there's just a lot of things. So it is a commitment. So that's all I'm telling you. And of course, we've all heard about predatory schools. We've all heard about them. I mean, let's just be honest. So this is why I always strongly recommend you guys, if you are wanting to get into it, please do your vetting. Talk to the people, talk to the students, because if you are looking to get into a trade school, they should have no problem with you talking to the students and ask them questions. See if you can get a hold of any of the graduates and see how they're doing. What is their employment rate post school, that kind of thing. So that's just, one of my suggestions. I mean, and I talk about this again because, like I said, I got a lot of those emails this weekend. So that's just my advice to you guys. So and medical coding doesn't always work out for everybody. So I want to say that too. And like I said, not being negative, I'm just saying that it doesn't always work out. But it all depends too on who is your instructor, how are they teaching you? Because sometimes people get into it with all the best intentions, and they really would probably be a great medical coder, but the way they were instructed probably wasn't in a way that could help them to learn. You have to look at that too. So if you're not learning, or if you're in school and it's not making sense to you, try to find another way, or ask somebody else, or submit a question here. I am always willing to answer questions. If you see the response time on my responses to comments or responses to emails, it's pretty quick. And I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, if you have a question, let me know. I do mostly outpatient and surgical coding. So if you have an inpatient question, I might have a little struggle with that one, but I'll try to help you out as best I can. So, that was my advice on that one. And I am on Instagram now. So I am at Medicalcodingwithbleu. Very easy and straightforward, easy to remember. So if you are on Instagram, I hope you'll follow me. I'll probably just like take pictures of, the book or, something, or just myself, my outfit, whatever, just to kind of draw my subscribers up and get some more viewership. So yep, that was pretty much it. Oh, and the countdown days. I did the countdown days. So if you're new to my channel, I am counting down the days to the AHIMA 2019 conference. It's in beautiful Chicago, Illinois this year. Pre-convention starts on September 14th, and that is 109 days from today. And the official kickoff, when everybody gets in and all the welcoming celebration starts, is September 15th at 110 days from today. So I hope that if you're interested in going to convention, that you will check the website out. And early bird registration is still going on right now until middle of July. So be sure to take advantage of that. And yes, so that was it. That's my video for today. So tomorrow I will bring on what I promised, which is talking about fractures and injury coding. So be prepared for that. I'm very excited about this week's Quiz Friday too, because I got some more diagnoses that I think are going to be really fun. I really like, because when I was going through the the external cause codes, I was just like, ooh, maybe I should get this one. So I may be throwing some more of those in there on Friday. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will start working on my next week's Q&A Tuesday episode. And of course, if you have any questions on any topics that we've discussed in the past, let me know, and I will do my best to help you out. So if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, and please like and subscribe and follow me on my medical coding adventure. All right, I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.